go. Episode 2, Josh Beeker, Power Performance Podcast. Josh, how we doing?
Good, How are you?
Good. How are you? So, Josh, let's start off with one. How are you doing in this crazy time?
It's been kind of up and down. Right now, I'm in a good headspace, but there's definitely been periods where, like, my headspace trying to figure things out with COVID has not been amazing. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad. I'm doing okay. Massachusetts is actually changing a little bit today. They're pulling back. They're pulling back a little bit. So we got to make some adjustments there. But overall, we're doing all right. Now let's introduce you. So first and foremost, how would you describe yourself? Let's go with the CrossFit space. So coach, athlete, enthusiast, programmer. What do you define yourself as?
I would define myself as an athlete. Very not new to competing, but I haven't done many competitions. But pre-COVID, after I was going to graduate college, the plan was to go as hard as possible. Training for the Open, which is in 70 some days.
Yeah,
something like that.
Maybe in the 60s
so it's coming
now.
up quick. Gonna do my first Open because in college I played soccer. So my more focus was committed to my team, not necessarily CrossFit, but I was using CrossFit as a tool to get stronger, stay in really good shape, and injury prevention, which I was super thankful for that I was never injured throughout college. Minor injury in high school, but I was just claiming myself as an athlete, but I would also kind of say that I am a programmer right now because with COVID, my parents, they've worked really hard all their lives, saved up a lot of money. And with COVID, they're like, well, if gyms are going to close and we're thankful to have a 3-car garage, and they built out a gym with everything you need. If you check out like my Instagram or TikTok, you can find it.
Yeah,
my family went a little bit too hard.
You have
a little too hard, I think.
We're going to touch on that later, but you have a pretty impressive. You have a small affiliate in your garage. It is.
Oh yes.
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty much.
So awesome. So athlete, let's go here first. You're from Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you just graduated college.
Yes, graduated in the spring of 2020.
Nice. Where'd you go?
I went to Randolph-Macon College, which is in Ashland, Virginia. It's like right near Richmond.
Cool.
If you've ever been I don't know if you've ever been King's Dominion, but it's like the next exit near there.
Oh, nice.
Down.
Nice. What'd you study?
I studied biology and I minored in chemistry.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Got plans or career paths you're going after?
So COVID kind of changed that around.
Put a damper on it?
Yeah, just a little bit. It was a little hard to find a job.
Yep.
For my girlfriend and I, we were just kind of searching around and pretty much picking up what we could find. I was thankful enough, somebody who in the CrossFit community worked out with him for years. He had an opening in his work, and they hooked me up with a job as a construction estimator.
Nice.
Down in Baltimore.
Hey, heck yeah. Awesome.
Super thankful for that opportunity.
Awesome.
Not exactly what I wanted to do coming out of college, but I was like, okay, I can do this for now and, learn, grab some skills, and we'll see what post-COVID holds for us.
Yeah, for sure. So you played soccer in college?
Yep.
What position?
Kind of wherever in the defense. I wasn't a huge offensive guy, right?
Okay.
I didn't like all the glory of that, but I like preventing a lot of goals and using my athleticism to stop people. So it was mainly center defensive mid.
Okay.
And left back and then left center back.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. So you could run fast and catch people essentially.
Yes. I couldn't score, but I could catch you and I could get the ball to the people who could score. That was my job.
Fair enough. Now, was it only soccer or was there other sports in high school?
In high school, soccer was the main sport, of course.
Yeah.
But for 3 years, I played lacrosse. And my senior year, I ran track.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything against the lacrosse team. It's just I was done with the sport. I didn't feel like the passion was there. So I was like, I'll try track. That was an interesting experience. Definitely taught me some new things about myself. It's a lot different.
It is different. So I ran college track. So
awesome. Where'd you go?
I went to Westfield State up here in Mass, state school. And no, track is a different animal. You learn a lot about how either you are more athletic than you think you are, or how you're less athletic than you think you are.
Oh, no. I definitely realized I was not the runner that I thought I was. I thought I was a beast because I played soccer, but I came in, that's when I started really picking up CrossFit. It was my senior year of high school. So I was putting on muscle. I had size. I weighed I still weigh the same I weighed in high school 4 years later. It's just more muscle, cut off a little bit of fat, just figuring out my body. But like I was running the 2 mile.
Oh
And we got this
God.
kid who is
Oh
like 5'2". He's looking at me. He's like, "Are you a sprinter?" I go, "No, I'm about to go run this 2 mile with you." The kid smoked me.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ridiculous. And I was
Hmm.
just like, I'm too heavy. But my coach was like, "Well, you're not fast enough to run the 800." It's
Yeah.
like, well, we already have our 3 guys that are going to run the mile. So it's like, you're left with the 400 or the 2 mile.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's get a training day and we're going to run the 2 miles. And like, dude, these little kids, man, they destroyed me.
Oh,
They were
you
like
know what's
freshman,
yeah.
senior.
You know what's funny is that in CrossFit, right? Relating to the CrossFit space, we run 400s all the time. It's in a lot of the
Yes.
programming, but it is not run the same as when you step onto like a college track. It is a
Yeah.
different animal. Like those guys
Oh, yeah.
sprint and then throw up. Where in
Yeah.
CrossFit, you're like, oh, I could do like 5 rounds with a 400 and just
Yup.
jog nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a different animal for sure.
Oh, yeah. There's a different way you got to game it.
Now here, this will be a fun question. Because of
Mhm.
lacrosse or soccer, is that how you adapted your mullet? I need to know the mullet story.
Okay, so the mullet story is interesting because we were going into so flashback to last year. I had a mullet. I cut it off for my job interview, and I'll touch back to that and recircle. But the origin story of the mullet. So for senior year of college, I was like, I gotta do something like crazy, right?
Yep.
Like my last year before going into quote unquote the real world and getting a job. So I'm like, I'm gonna do something nuts, something crazy with my hair. I grew out a mullet. And then a couple other buddies, they did some. We had a guy, another senior, he went like bleach blonde hair. Like he went from jet black
Yeah.
to bleach blonde hair, right? And, see some seniors like growing out mustaches. So we all kind of did something a little bit different. Not everybody, but a couple of the seniors. And like I just kept riding with it. And then when I started making TikToks and started going harder on Instagram, people were like loving it. And then I don't know where I came up with it, but I'm just like, I like just classified it as the main, and it
Yep.
just kept flowing and going
It
from
took
there.
off.
Cut my own hair, doing little progress pics, and people were loving it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna ride with it. And it was outrageous when we graduated in the spring. We took family photos, and my hair is just like a puffball.
Oh yeah.
And my mom's like, if you're gonna get a job, you gotta get your hair cut. I'm like, okay. So I didn't realize how long it was until my brother took a video and it was like touching the back of my neck. Like it was a good like 7-8 inches in the
Yeah.
back.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
And this is all pre Justin Medeiros. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So you were like,
I was
yeah, you inspired his mullet.
I was out. Well, he'd been growing his probably about the same length same time as mine. But I was bummed. I was like, dude, if I made a post and I had it side by side, we'd probably have his is a lot curlier. Mine's very straight and just like a very rigid mullet.
Yeah.
But we're growing round 2 of it right now. My boss is approving of it. He's like, Josh, I'm disappointed. When we were interviewing, he was very disappointed that I didn't have the mullet. He wanted to see it in full.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, because I went pretty much just like a 1 and a 2 around the side, faded up into just like a very simple like
Yeah.
comb over.
Fair enough.
And he's like, "Where's your hair?" So I've been growing it out ever since that interview. I was like,
Hey, well, the
"Perfect.
mullet's powerful. Like Madeira, the
Yeah, mullet
mullet's
power,
got
you
power.
get PRs.
Mullet's got power. So here on this podcast, we like to talk about. Obviously, I'm full time in the space of CrossFit. My gig is coach full time. I'm at a gym called Reach Athletics. So let's talk about your story. Now, did CrossFit stumble upon you, or how did you find it? What's that story?
So I found CrossFit through my parents. I had never heard of it, but I was getting, even at a young age, like I started working out when I was 15 years old in the gym, learning like the basic like machines and dumbbell movements. I was a little bit scared of the barbell. And because I'm like, I don't want to get like embarrassed benching or squatting because I was just very self-conscious young part of my life. And my parents were like, hey, you should come to this CrossFit gym, CrossFit Everlasting in Bel Air. And like I very vividly remember my first class. It was box jumps and deadlifts, 21, 15, 9. I'm like, I can do that. That's nothing. And I didn't even do like the prescribed weight. I'm pretty sure it was like 85 pounds or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, these people are strong.
Yeah.
They're fast. And they don't look that tired, so they must be pretty fit. And I'm like, cool, I want to be a part of that. And like slowly each like I say every like few months that passed by, I was getting more interested. I would go to a few more classes. Like my mom had a punch card, so I could go with her on the occasion, but I was still working out at the other gym. And like full tilt from there was like, I think it was like a YouTube video. It was like the 2014 games where I saw like Rich Froning and like all the guys that we know now, like Frazier and all them, Josh Bridges, and just consuming content left and right. And I'm like, this is dope. And like, just like, again, junior, senior of high school, it was just like full tilt from there of training very consistently, where like actually having like an unlimited membership and being able to go and not just coming in here and there and getting involved in the community. So it
Yeah.
was just kind of like full send from there. So the
Heck
past
yeah.
6 years.
Nice. Nice. So, so athlete, have you ever done any coaching, or has it just been like the programming side of things?
So I have my CFO 1, or my level 1. I got that back in January.
This year?
Yes, the
Oh,
beginning
nice.
of this year. So yeah, I had James Hobart as the instructor, which was pretty cool.
Cool. So cool story for you. James
Mhm.
owns a place called CrossFit One Nation, which is
Yep.
right here in Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
We
Yep.
have a coach in my gym that is one of the coaches there. So he's like around James and Hendel and Malleolo all the time.
Yeah, they have the ham plan and everything.
Yeah, so hand plan's big up in Mass because it's from Mass. So a lot of
Yeah.
the gyms incorporate it, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Now are you still part of a box, or is it Josh's garage right now?
So I'm part of they used to be a CrossFit affiliate, but right now I'm going to Prodigy Fit.
Okay.
It's down in Essex. It's right near my work, so I can get up in the morning, go work out, and then get to work.
Nice.
So that's my main thing.
So do you still go there now, or are they shut down? Or are they still open? How is that going?
They're still open right now. There's some guidelines for what you need to follow. They can't have huge amount of classes, clearly.
Yeah.
And yeah, he runs a pretty tight ship with it all. Like, there's always stuff to clean and like sanitize, and
Which
he's
is
pretty
good.
big on that.
Which is
Which
good.
is good.
Yeah.
You have to be, but he's struggling like most businesses because like he can't have a full capacity, and he's like you can only check in a certain number of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it tough. Where I mean, most normal CrossFit classes, it's just whoever shows up, and sometimes like some days you get like 4 or 5, and then some days it's a party at like the 5 o'clock class where it's like sometimes you don't even have enough equipment, and you're like ragtagging the workout trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, like I don't know the whole dynamic of it because like clearly I was at school and like I came home in the middle of my semester, so I didn't know what the vibe was coming back because my parents were like, "Yep, we're just starting a home gym." But I can't imagine like, you get these classes that can be like you said between like 10, sometimes they're 25 people, and that's a big variation of like finding equipment and balancing out on the fly.
Yeah.
And with
So
the pandemic,
we do 12 right now, which is like our number. So for sure, there's definitely like waiting lists because we use an app called Tribe. We use there's waiting lists and things like that. So it is tough like having full classes and trying to get everybody in, but we make it work. Now we're going to go rapid fire inside the CrossFit space right now. Favorite CrossFit movement?
Favorite movement? Ring muscle ups. Need to get better, but I love them.
Fair enough. Favorite barbell movement?
Clean and jerk.
Fair enough. Least favorite barbell movement?
Clusters. The squat clean and into the thruster. Those are just nasty.
Yeah, well, it's mostly singles unless you're a freak. And then it's like
unless you're ripping and ripping for that.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
There's not many touch and goes unless the barbell weight's like 95, 115, maybe.
Favorite metabolic machine?
Oh man. I'd say my least is probably the rower. The most, oh man, I love the bike erg.
Yeah, the C2.
Yep.
They're pretty sweet. They're dynamic because you can do different things.
Yes. But the Echo bike's starting to grow on me.
Do you have one?
Yes. The parents recently got one as a Christmas gift for the family.
Now, are you going to, or have you done the Rogue Bike Challenge? Have you seen it?
I am going to do it. I don't think I'm going to submit a score, but I will find the courage to attempt 50 calories of just straight pain.
Did you see Froning's one?
It looks brutal. He
did 49 seconds. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would say like a minute and a half maybe. And
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It was
like you can get that thing cranking. And I'm thinking for like 25 seconds, I definitely could hold like a killer pace, but then I feel like I'd slowly drop off. Yeah. And the first half of the next half of calories is not going to be done in those 25 seconds. It's going to take probably 40, maybe 35.
Yeah.
That's a push.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's talk about your gym. Let's back over to that. So you have a rig in there, right? how many squat stands is there in there? Like how many
There's
squat? Two? Okay. And
Mhm.
now can you complete, does it have all the gymnastics set up? Like does it have spot for ring muscle ups and things like that?
See, that is something I do miss, and that is why I go to Prodigy, because they have, again, the space to operate is awesome, but also to like ring muscle ups is one thing, wall balls. But other than that, we pretty much have everything. So like we can do bar muscle ups, toes to bar, pull ups, your chest to bar. It's just everything above, because the ceiling is only, I think it's like 13, 14 feet. It's not a super tall ceiling,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to convince my stepdad to cut a hole because there's an extended part of the roof that extends up. So maybe we can
Yeah.
hang some rings, but he says
Yeah.
about it.
All right, fair enough. Now when you're in your gym, is it you and your parents? Like, how does that work? What's the dynamic of the at-home CrossFit gym? How does it work?
So most of the time, scheduling wise, uh, the parents get home a little bit early before I do. So typically they'll get their workout in before me, and then I'll go in. And my stepsister, who is in college, she'll go a midday. So we'll kind of revolve around each other to where we're not each other's way space wise. But then there will be some days, like I think last Thursday, we did DT, and pretty much the whole family was in their garage together, which was really cool. Like
Yeah.
my stepsister and I, we did it first. Then my stepdad rolled in, and then my girlfriend came home from work, and then my mom came in, and then they all did it together. So it was like two different waves and stuff. So like once or twice a week, we'll all work out together. But then the other 3 or 4 days, it'll be individual, or like you just trickle in where they're finishing your workout, and then you're coming in to warm up.
Fair
So
enough. Now,
mhm.
and everybody's in the game. Everyone's doing CrossFit, or like your parents just
everybody Everybody except
lifters.
my little brother. He plays soccer at a community college. So he'll work out sometimes. He'll do some light stuff, but he's more just like training through soccer practice and that kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But not like
Now,
training yet.
when you guys work out, say you and your girlfriend or you and your parents, things like that,
Mhm.
do you guys like to challenge each other and like do the same programming, or like where do you guys get your programming from? I know you do your own. Do your parents
Mhm.
follow a mainstream, anything like that? How do you guys get it?
So I've been very fortunate that they have trusted me and they have allowed me. I think we're on week 29 of programming for myself. So I have 29 weeks full of workouts. So we'll do, because they like to take 1 day rest day, sometimes two, depending on like the volume and load for the week. So I'll program out 4 days of workouts, and then I'll stack a bunch of extra workouts at the end of the week in case they wanted to try stuff. And I've been doing my own research, trying not to overwork them, but we've been doing like I'll program all the strength and then all the metcons around it,
Yep.
and it's been working for the fam. Like my mom has been like, Joshua, I am more fit than I've ever been. Even going to CrossFit for 5 years, she for the first time has been able to do strict pull-ups. We have a little PR board, like we got a whiteboard up on the garage,
Yeah.
and like my girlfriend, my stepsister, my mom, and I were all hitting like bigger numbers, PRing workouts. Like people are doing well. Like so, it's working. We're learning. Some weeks I've killed them. Other weeks I probably could have pushed them a little bit harder. So finding that balance over the course of 29 weeks has been pretty cool. So I'm
Hell yeah.
starting to hit a stride of like programming out good stuff for them.
For sure. Now, when you do that, right, in the programming sense, how do you do it? Are you a guy that sits down, whiteboard in front of you, and you're just like hacking at it, like you have your 5 days in front of you, and you're like, I want to squat that day, and it's off the list. I want to do this on that day, and you just slowly punch in the pieces, or like, is there a method to the madness? Like we deadlift on Mondays, we back squat on Fridays. Like, how does that go through your head?
So the way I like to do it is like for the biggest thing that I see is for athletes is the strength portion, and I pretty much mend everything else around that. So for example, we were recently on a 5 rep max back squat cycle. We tested it on Mondays because like I think I got that from The Rock. Like Rock does heavy leg. The Rock, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he does like leg days on Mondays. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're doing leg days on Mondays. And so like I'll program out 4 weeks at a time. So I have the test date, 3 weeks of training, and then the retest that month later. And like that'll fill up that Monday of strength. And then
Yeah.
Tuesday, we probably won't do any strength. It'll be more skill work, like working on your handstand push-ups or being able to like hang from the bar, just more stabilization stuff, something like that. Maybe handstand walks. Wednesdays or weightlifting Wednesdays where we're working on Olympic movements or just being able to hit like big complexes. And then I always try to incorporate either some other type of strength, either like a deadlift or bench. So we're hitting strength 3 to 4 times a week, but it changes week to week.
Yeah,
It
for
just
sure.
depends on like what we're focusing on. So 1 week or 1 month we're focusing on squatting, back squat. The next month it might be deadlifts, where we're still throwing in some squats or throwing in some deadlifts there, but it's not as not a huge focus for us.
For sure. Yeah, I think you see a lot of programming with that theme. Like Monday is a big like let's hit the weight. Like you're fresh. Most people are fresh coming off like a rest day Sunday, things like
Yep.
that. And then like Tuesday you back it off a little bit, like some gymnastic stuff, metabolic stuff. Wednesday you'll hit like a combo of the 3. Then Thursday is like your 3 on 1 off rest day style. Friday is a combo of like the 3, and then Saturday you kind of hammer it home knowing you're going to rest on Sunday. That's what you see in like a lot of the mainstream programming. So Monday's definitely like a let's hit it hard, let's lift heavy, you're fresh type style thing like that.
Yep.
Now it's vulture culture programming.
Yes, that's correct. That's the
Okay.
current name.
What is the do you have a plan? Like would the 10-year map be like if this thing takes off, like roll with it?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things where I'm just like throwing something against the wall, hoping something sticks,
Yeah.
either with something on social media or the programming platform. And the whole reason behind that was people, asking me for workouts. It's like, hey, you're in pretty good shape. You seem like you're doing pretty cool workouts. Like, I want to get in on that. So I'm like, all right, let's just start something up. Didn't really know what I was doing. And I'm like, yeah, this is something like if it starts going through and blowing up, got to figure out how I'd want to like monetize. Cause right now I just want to be able to just like give out free content. But then once people actually want to pay for programs, like having a system where like, I'm not ripping you off. It's actually legit. And I believe in it. Like you're going to get more fit.
For sure.
Yeah. I would love to run with that and just be like, this could be a full-time business.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And
large
it's
scale.
no, have you gotten good feedback or like give me like a random number of like how many people have like tested these things out, or do you have like a group of friends that are like kind of sticking with it? Like what's that like?
So they don't DM me through Vulture Culture. They typically DM me through my main account. And there's probably a dozen people that have been like, hey, dude, this is a great workout. Thank you so much. Or like, dude, you've been showing me so much, like so many ideas to work out in quarantine. Cause like I'll do some workouts for people who have access to full set gyms, and I'll do more of the at-home stuff.
Yeah.
And like I get a good mix of people. It's not a ton of people, but also like I see people like reposting or not reposting, but they'll be tagging me in their stuff and like just got a great workout from Josh Beeker, and they'll tag me. And it's probably, upwards of 50 people that have done that in total.
Oh, awesome.
So it's picking up some traction. It's good.
Now let's go to your social media, because
Mhm.
the TikTok is like, it's pretty legit. Like it's over 100K. That's a big number. Now, which was first, the Instagram where you started like funneling content on Instagram, or were you like messing around when quarantine started on TikTok and then it just set fire?
So my girlfriend actually got me on Instagram first.
Okay.
Pre-college. So my girlfriend and I met at the end of freshman year. Well, not met, but we started dating end of freshman year. And so like I was just like so against social media throughout high school. Like I didn't have one. I had Snapchat, but like got rid of that pretty quickly. I was like, nah, I don't need this. And then I don't know what it was. Oh no, I do. I lied. I know. So I saw it was a video conference or like a keynote speech from Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
He did, yeah. Do you know of him?
I do know Gary Vee. He's
So Gary V's like, you need to get on social media if you want to be relevant in the next few years. And I'm like, what is he talking about? This guy's crazy. And I'm like listening in. He's like, you pretty much need to become a content producer and you are the brand. And I'm like, that's a good way of thinking it. And like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a fitness account. And from there, like the first couple posts, and I was so nervous. I was like, this is stupid. So I started funneling around on Instagram, and I think it was like a year later, I was like, Gary's talking about TikTok, so I gotta get on TikTok. But I'm like, it's only for like 15-year-old girls doing dances. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And then from there, I'm just like, okay, just keep posting. And then slowly some viral videos were coming out on my end, and it just like it erupted for like a 4-month period
Yeah.
where I was gaining between 10 and 15,000 followers a month. And then, I mean, Gary Vee, he is right. When there's more attention to a platform, you're going to have less organic reach. And I quickly saw that my ability to share and go more with more viral videos was a lot harder to come by. And so I like looking at it, I went from like 0 to 70 very quickly, but then the next 30K were very hard to reach and
Yeah.
get
Now,
because there's a lot more people. It was like the quarantine helped accelerate how much people use TikTok. Like it was bound to happen.
Yeah. Well, you're probably still slowly gaining, I would imagine. It's just probably slower.
Yes.
But like, I mean, you're over 100K. Like that's huge. That's a massive.
Crazy.
That's a massive number. Now, and I was doing my due diligence. I was looking back. You have some that are like way up there when it comes to viewership and things like that. There was a couple. I think one was it 250 or more than that. There was a few that were way up there and like viewership.
Yeah. There's a few. There's a couple that have. I think there's like 6 or 7 videos that went over 1 million.
Dang. Do you remember them like offhand? Were you like PR Snatch or something like that? Like, do you remember which ones they were?
There was one that I did. It was more like I don't even know what ASMR was at the time, but I did one because like the sound of when I do like the cupping.
Yep.
Right. And you take the cup off, it goes like
yep.
And it was very satisfying. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna post this. That's my most viral video. That was like 5 million views.
Oh, jeez.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, the first viral video that I put out, which had like it eventually I think it got up to like 900,000. It was just like an ab circuit, like really simple thing, and that's the one that like just took off and kind of started and cascaded everything.
Yep.
There was one with the mullet, the haircut, and it was like me showing you how I shave it up and make it look as beautiful as it is. And that one got that one got like 2.5 mil.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the last time I checked. So like they slowly always trickle up still. So
yeah.
Closer to 3, I'm not really sure. And then there was one of me failing a squat clean, like a nasty fail. And like the bar came down on me and I ate it, and I pretty much just like let go of the bar and I exploded out of it. And it looked like I just like died. And that one got 1 million views. So I remember those. There was one where I was I was doing squats. And one of the coaches from the CrossFit gym that I went to last year, he like joined in and we were both like squatting to the beat of the song. And I think that one hit like over 1 million.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Now,
like I definitely remember the gems. I'm like, yep, those are like my top vids.
For sure. Now, for people that don't know what like fame on TikTok is, because TikTok's still pretty new. Like it's old, but it's new.
It's a baby.
Now, what is it like? Like, do you get people reaching out to you? Like, are you always like constantly back and forth with people, or is it just like try and fill that app with as much content as you can? And like, what is the strategy, or what, like, how does it work with back and forth, things like that?
So the goal is to build up as strong of a community as possible. I think I have a pretty loyal following. Like you can look at some accounts that have tons of followers, but then you look at their content reach and it's like a few thousand people here that watch their stuff. Not really many comments. Not that that's important, but it's like looking at the engagement. Like I have people that will hardcore comment on like every single post, right? Yeah. Or if somebody like comes at me in a comment, they will come back at them and they will defend me for like without even me seeing anything yet. So I think I have a pretty strong following. I get DMs constantly. Like right now, I think I have 60 requests on Instagram for DMs.
Yep.
And those are just people I have not been able to get to, but I slowly just try to like chip away. Like I'll answer 10 messages, right? I'll look away for 2 days and then I'm back up to like 65.
Yeah.
And then same thing on TikTok. Like I'll get, 2-3 DMs a day probably. So it's a lot of like answering and commenting when I can. And then, trying to go on like a live stream and be like, hey guys, let me answer your questions now so they don't have to ask them and wait for me.
Yeah.
But the engagement's been awesome. And there's definitely like, I feel like part of it too is like the 100K. It's like everyone's like, oh, he's got the TikTok clout, and they just want to like reach out and ask questions. But like for me, whether or not I had 10,000 or 100,000, it still feels like I don't feel any different. Like I don't use that as like,
no, for sure.
Look at me, I'm like crushing it on social media.
No, for sure. And I think one of the coolest things too is that like for me, when I first saw you, I scrolled past something on TikTok. I forget what it was. I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. Like I'm a CrossFit guy in the space, workout every day. And then it just rolled across my page. I'm like, oh, this dude's doing CrossFit on TikTok. Like, it's
Yep.
not somebody dancing. I'm like, let's get. And I think I followed you way back, and I'm like, wow, this guy is like gaining steam. Like he's rolling. So it was for me, it was like a nice change of pace. I was like, this guy, he's putting out content. Like it was community based. Like you would see people like asking functional questions like, what are you thinking here? What do I do here? Like, so that was cool to see. Or it was like a coaching platform almost for yourself.
Correct. And like I always try to give disclaimers. I'm like, guys, this is just speaking personal experience. I don't have like a degree in this stuff. So like when I give out like nutrition tips, I'm literally just talking from experience and be like, hey, you got to eat protein to build muscle. You got to eat fats and carbs for energy, and you definitely need hydration and your vegetables to get those micronutrients. And like I was just like preach the very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Because like, and like you said, it's a change from where TikTok is now, which is dance videos, which isn't my style. That's not.
It's not
You're not
you.
gonna see me do you're not gonna see me do the renegade dance. Like, but sometimes my girlfriend, she'll ask me like, hey Josh, can you do this dance with me? And like most of the time I do say no, but there probably will be some video in the future that I do with her where I'm doing some TikTok dance. But like TikTok can change in 4 months from now. Like all the people like Charlie and all them, like they might not be as relevant anymore. Like they'll still have a strong base, but like it could be more on like there might be a fitness wave. Like if you're into CrossFit and you're on a TikTok, you can like get seen a lot better than you say on Instagram because there's just so much content put out for CrossFit on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, you still there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So, well, the one thing I was going to say on TikTok that like Gary Vee preaches is that for a while and still currently Instagram, it's got a lot of following, you get pictures, things like that. But you go on TikTok and the amount of content that is rolled through on a daily basis is outstanding. And the amount of people, that just go like this, because it's so fast. I think like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and then people are just sliding through. And like you can just, the amount of eyes that get on you on TikTok is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what Gary Vee preaches, So now with CrossFit, all this stuff, what is your plan moving forward when it comes to like, do you ever have an ambition to coach, or what is your like 1-year plan coming forward into 2021 when it comes to like, maybe I want to do a little bit more coaching or get into the program side of thing, or I really want to push hard for like the open. I know you're probably going to like attack the open with reckless abandonment like everybody else.
That's the goal right now. Yeah.
Are you leaning in like certain directions, or like is it just you want to take the whole pile with you?
So right now I'm giving myself until 2024. So like January 2024 to go as hard as I possibly can at CrossFit.
Yeah.
So 3-year window, whatever happens, happens. If not, I got to pack that up because at that point, I'm probably going to have a family started, build my career in a different direction, and that's going to be completely okay. But like dedicating myself to, I would love to get to the games. There's a lot of things that have to happen. First off, got to get to a sanctional, got to do well in the open. I just have to see where I stack up. I haven't really ever tested the waters at a high level.
Yeah.
And so like I do the open and I get like 5,000th or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that's good or bad, but like say I get like 5,000, I'm like, all right, I got to know that there's like 4,900 more people that are better than me and I need to get ahead of them. Or like, how do I get more involved asking questions? Like I reached out to like, I think I've asked Cole Sager questions. I've asked Carrie Pierce some questions and they've DM'd me back, which is dope to like see what they have to say about like, you have to do this, X, Y, and Z. This is stuff you got to work on and help you. It's a big strength battle, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm definitely open to figuring out a way to do more online coaching. I have never done any, but I would love to like help people out and achieve goals. Cause there's people, excuse me, who I went to high school with, who I went to college with, and I've been DMing them, giving them little bits of stuff. And they're like, hey dude, this is great. I love this kind of working out. Hey, I've ran a mile the fastest I've ever ran one. Thank you for helping me and like giving me ideas. So like that to me feels awesome. So I'd love to do that for people. If that takes over to where that's a full-time income as well, alongside with the online programming, that mesh of things would be beautiful. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because like it like I just need the money not to like flex on people. I just need the money to like support a family, eat, and like have a decent place to live. That's really all I need.
That's what it's about. And
I don't need to be fancy.
Yeah, coming from someone that coaches every day, like, I will tell you, it is very rewarding. Like,
Oh yeah.
when I go to the gym every day, the number one things I think about is give everyone the best hour of your day. So, like, even though I'll coach like 4 hours in a row, when people come in, I want it to be like their highlight of their day. So they're excited to
Oh
come
yes,
in
I want it to be
again.
the best hour possible.
Yeah, and that's what coming into an affiliate's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the best part. And like, you get to make a small change in everyone's life that creates a bigger change. And that's the best part about coaching is you can fix one thing, or you can make them push a little bit harder here and make it hurt for an extra 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden their life can be changed forever, which is the coolest part.
Yeah.
Or just lifestyle changes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
getting someone to stop drinking soda and like slowly getting convinced that, or like my parents, like my dad is now swimming all the time because he couldn't get into he used to be a track athlete, but his knees hurt him now. He's got bad ankles. But like finding him an avenue to work out in and like do a little cross training.
Yep.
He's like, I've never felt better. He's like, I'm down weight. Like,
Awesome.
so it's subtle changes, right?
Yeah.
Which is the coolest part about coaching by far, is that you see people change right in front of your eyes, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Now I will say, let's talk about the Open for a second. We'll go on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Random questions. How is it going to happen in Maryland? Like, I don't know what coronavirus is like in Maryland. Is it like super lockdown? Like when it comes to going into affiliate, like mask on the whole time, spaced out?
It's like 1 foot.
What's up?
It's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, I would say, you have to wear the mask when you're indoors, but they haven't completely shut everything down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would change.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I don't go to a gym that is considered an affiliate.
Yes.
So I don't know if there would be a gym that would allow me to join for a month and just do the Open.
Yeah. We could always do it at your house too.
True.
And
I could.
All you have to do is videotape it.
Yep.
That's it. You just have to submit a video if you're not with an affiliate. I believe that's how it works.
Oh, then yeah, I can do that. And I can do Prodigy Fitness and get all that done because they have all the stuff you need.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
And what with the Open, so we have me and my brother and some people that in the CrossFit space with me think with COVID.
Yep.
Do you think the movements are going to change inside of the Open to allow it to be more of a box style system? So when I say that, for example, movements like keeping you in a box, like a lot of dumbbell workouts, or a lot of like, here's a dumbbell, a box, and they're going to do like snatches, box jumps, or weighted step ups and a rower. So you're not like moving around. So you might not see a lot of rig, like things like that.
I really have not given it some thought to that, honestly. But now that you got my brain stirring about it, it's probably going to be something similar to the Rogue Invitational, which, by the way, I thought was very well run.
That was awesome. It was cool.
I thought that was great. The way they managed all that, the type of workouts, I thought it was perfectly programmed.
Well, they set the platform.
Maybe not perfectly, but it was really good though.
They set the platform up for the games.
Oh yeah.
Rogue,
yeah. They said here's the book of how to do it. Just regurgitate it and make CrossFit games.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be more geared towards the quarantine style. I don't think you're going to see like overhead lunges and you're going to go a certain distance, but there's going to be like your typical, burpees, thrusters, some type of cardio equipment that's very basic.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a skier or something different other than like a rower. Because I think the rower is pretty standard, right?
Well, the rower is like the standard piece of equipment like you see inside of a box. So I'm a big bike guy. Like I'm decent at the assault bike. So I'm the guy that always vouches, like, bring the assault bike into the Open, even though that's never going to happen.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's usually going to be the rower. I would like to actually see running come in at some point because running's a huge part of the training, like on a weekly basis, at least when the weather's not bad. Like we run at Reach Athletics. I mean, probably in the summer 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. Like
it's a different beast other than a cardio piece of cardio equipment. It's a different monster.
For sure. I think my favorite workout that I've done this year is Nancy. We did it right after they did it at stage 1 of the CrossFit Games. And
you did one CrossFit Games, Nancy, or you did
no. I did the regular Nancy, but I hadn't done the regular Nancy in a long time. So I was like jacked up watching them do just the games version. I'm like, I'm gonna give this a whack. And I remember not being able. Well, so I did that one. I remember not being able to like walk around for quite some time. But then I also did the 1K row. This is like an infamous story at our affiliate. So I'm
Yeah.
a pretty good on the rower. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm going to take this sub 3 and I'm going to see if they can do it sub 3. So I did it before the games
Yeah.
did it. And I did 3:07. And I couldn't move for 25 minutes.
You just laid on the floor?
Well, no, I laid on the floor. Then I started crawling, made my way outside. It didn't go well out there. Couldn't feel the hamstrings or the biceps. Both of those were blown out. But yeah, it was like a 125 pace for like 2.5 minutes. And then it went from 125 to like a 210 for the last 30 seconds and just couldn't feel anything.
Nice. So you just went numb.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. But it was cool. Now let's talk about you outside of CrossFit. I know like that's your following, things like that. But like, for example, let's start. What do you like to do? Like, do you have any hobbies? Do you relate fitness into like you're a hiker or a rock climber? Like, what do you do?
Ooh, I do like some good hikes.
Yeah.
But I have a little small side passion in photography, videography.
Oh, awesome.
So I'll take some photos here and there. I don't really post them all the time. Like I have a little like photography page, but I haven't really been active on that. But yeah, love photography. Super interested in that. Videography. Like there was a video. I was like, I would love to like be a videographer or an athlete at like Wadapalooza or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about that. I was like, how do I get in on that? That looks dope. Let's see, what other hobbies? It really is just the CrossFit life for me. Like that's like 24/7.
So we have a photographer at our gym that I'm pretty sure has been down to Wadapalooza, and he does a lot of like the Born Primitive shoots. He does like, the Barbell Cartel shoots. I know he does all that. So he's in the space, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's just CrossFit for you all the time. Is that all you're thinking about?
All the time. Also, too, just like I will do like eBay like flips. Like I'll buy stuff at yard sales and I'll flip it. So again, that's more inspired from Gary Vee. But I really do enjoy making money, as most people do. But the art of like taking something that didn't have value originally and being able to flip it online, I think it's pretty dope.
Now, are you
so
like?
I'd say that'd be my other hobby.
So my dad's big into this. He's big into the flip or like the collection thing.
Yep.
Now, are you like buying? Are you the dude that was like super compelled by that whatever $100,000 Pokemon card? Or are you like the buy the chair, repaint it, resell it guy on eBay?
I'm like find stuff. I'm like more middle ground. So I'll just like a quick story, but like I bought these. Do you know the Rescuers from Disney? The little like mouse animated movie?
Yes.
Yes. So there was these pins and they were selling for like $1 a piece. And I'm like, dude, those are definitely worth something. I sold both of them for like $35 a piece. So I paid $2, sold them for $70. And from there, I'm just like, yep, this is what I want to keep doing. So it's not like fixing anything up. I looked into Pokemon cards. I love Pokemon as a kid, but I just don't have the knowledge. And I have time that's being poured into other avenues. But if I had time, I would research it and I would totally flip Pokemon cards. I think with the NBA season about to start up again, I think NBA sports cards are about to go up. So I'm like looking at like a LeBron card and was like, maybe buy a LaMelo. We'll see. Like,
hey, he played last night. He didn't look bad.
Yeah, he didn't score, but he did have 10 assists, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be his thing. I don't think he's going to score. I think he's just going to
his passing ability, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, he's big. Now, in Maryland, remind me, you guys, what pro sports teams do you have? You have the Orioles, right?
I got Orioles. Right now, they're trash.
Who else?
We have the Baltimore Ravens, who's having a little bit of an off year.
Yep.
Washington Capitals, they're decent.
Yep.
Solid hockey team. Baltimore Blast, that's our indoor soccer team.
Cool. Very cool. Do you have a favorite?
So, growing up, I never really had like a favorite sports team. I wouldn't even say still I have like a favorite sports team. That's why I think CrossFit was born for me, because it's not really like a team basis. It's just like people, because like I like athletes. I like certain athletes in each space.
Yeah.
Similarly to CrossFit, you like those athletes that you like, that's your guys. Like you like Frazier or you like Froning. It's a division of like, do you like Toomey or do you like some other female athlete? Do you like Josh Bridges, like the old OGs? Do you like Matt Chen, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
But I never really had a favorite sports team. I just love watching sports in the sense that I know as a former college athlete, the time and effort that it takes and the amount of skill that people don't see behind the scenes to get to where you are,
Yeah.
and like level of dedication and people achieving their goals and dreams. So like that's the part of sports that I love.
Yeah. Well, there's a big part of coaching too, if we wrap this back to like coaching,
Oh yeah.
where you don't see the average person doesn't see or understand what it takes to go into a pro sport or even to like be close to being a pro athlete. Like, oh, this guy had a tryout, didn't make it. Like that guy is still unbelievable.
An amazing athlete. That's like,
Yeah.
there's one guy that I used to paint for in the summers. He would always tell me, when people are bagging on an NFL quarterback for like the worst team in the league, right? So like say you're smashing on like Sam Darnold or something, saying like, oh, he's trash. I'm like, he's a top 32 quarterback in the world
Yeah.
on a professional sports team. So he still has to be pretty darn good. It's just that the athletes around him may not support him, and everyone else he's playing is just that much better. But he's
Yeah.
still really good.
Oh,
It's that
exactly.
same narrative.
Yeah.
And I hate when people are like, oh, he's just so gifted and talented. It's just natural for him. Like, oh, he's just young. I'm like, no. He put in hours, or he or she put in hours and hours of work. And I'm like, how do you like negate that? It's like saying someone's career, like they don't deserve to have a house or they don't deserve to have the money that they have. I'm like, no, you worked for that.
Yeah.
That's why you have it. Same
Yeah.
thing with these athletes.
Well, they
They've been
talk about it
training.
in CrossFit all the time. Where like, I mean, I know Fraser's talked about his story, but like, he always rags on people who are like, oh, he's 5'8", so he can power clean heavy. It's like, no, he did Olympic weightlifting for 10 years. Like,
Yeah,
that's why he's good at it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Or
makes
like,
sense. Destroying everybody.
yeah. And I mean, Sean Woodland, I forget what year it was. In one of the documentaries, he talked about like, yeah, top 40, like the dude who comes in 40th or the female that comes in 40th, like no one knows their name. But like any box in the world they walk into, they would put on a show
Oh
for
yeah,
everybody.
smoke people.
Yeah. And like it wouldn't even like put on a show.
Yes.
Even people at the regional level, like those guys, like back when regionals or sanctionals, like you qualify for a sanctional, you're a top 1%.
Oh yeah.
Like it's unreal what those people can do.
Mhm.
So I mean, in our space, like that we're in right now, like understanding like the hours that those people put in, like when they talk about it, I don't think some people understand it. Like, wow, that guy just clean and jerk 275. You understand like probably the 6 years he was at 165, like missing squat cleans, or like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or like when he finally hit 225.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like
it's unreal.
it's incredible. Like I did my first ever like local like box competition. It was a partner workout, and like I couldn't do 225 squat cleans.
Yep.
But now, like if you put that in a workout, I'm like, bet, like let's do it. Like it's like nothing. So like you said, I know that's probably where they started, and I think me documenting my process along the way, if I can get to that level, I can show people and be like, look, 2015, 2016, I sucked. Like
Yeah.
it took me, 8-9 years to get to where I want to get to.
But
Like, that's a long time.
yeah. Well, they all talk about it like that. They're like, where you see a lot of it too. Like, there's outliers, like Medeiros, Adams. They are outliers. You can't look at them.
Yeah.
But like when you look at guys, like the average age is like 28, 29, 30. Like at the games, like when they finally like spring through and get in, they're like, oh yeah, he's 29-year-old rookie. That's because he just struggled for 10 years trying to get in, or just trying to build up all of his strength and his engine, things like that. Like it takes time.
Yep. That's
For
one
sure.
thing, man. Like I wish when I was younger, I would have gone harder on the strength. I was just trying to stay conditioned. Really, I was just trying to like get abs and look good.
Yeah.
I'm at like the beach, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. No, like I really wish I would have been like sending it on the squats and pushing deadlifts and bench pressing harder. Because like honestly, it's only been the first 13 months. Like the last 13 months is the only time I've actually tried to like move weight and hit numbers that are big. Like because before I was just like strength. Okay, I'll just like not go super hard, just get through, focus and crush the metcons. Or
Yeah.
now it's like flipped where I'm like, I am going to destroy my body on the strength, and I don't even care about the metcon at all.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now, what type of like, if you walked in and someone started watching you work out, like what type of athlete are you? Even like if you're not like, obviously you're focused more on strength now, but like, are you a strength guy? Like, can you just crush toes to bar? Like, are you a gymnast? Are you a metabolic freak? Like, what type of athlete are you?
A beautiful thing about CrossFit is you don't have to be great at any one thing. You just have to be really good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'd say I am above average at most. I'm definitely not the strength athlete, but if you watch me, I am extremely meticulous in how I do it. Like I don't go out super hot in most workouts.
Yeah.
But I think I game it to where my body is like riding the red line. And when I punch the gas, there's gas left in the tank just to go all the way.
Yeah.
So when I think when people watch me, body weight movements like toes to bar, bar muscle ups, my jam. Cardio wise, like I can go like a good 30-minute workout. I can pace that out really well. So I'm not dying at minute 21, 22. Sprints, if it's light enough, yes. But again, like anything with like super heavy strength, I'm just not there yet.
Yeah,
That's
for
just to be
sure.
honest.
Now,
Like,
for your like followers and my followers out there that will listen
Mhm.
to this, what is
Yeah.
your advice when it comes to someone that's either in CrossFit? We can start there, and then you can wrap it to someone that goes and types in CrossFit gym near me and like is scared to hit like the send an email or inquiry email. Like, what is your advice to them?
So the biggest thing I always tell people when they're starting out is you have to be really patient and you just have to have the courage to take that first step, right? So when you go, it's going to be really awkward because you're seeing people do movements that you're not used to. That's always awkward. It's people you don't know. They're wearing strange clothes. Most of them are probably half naked and sweaty. Like it
Yeah,
can
yeah,
be a very intimidating environment. And you just have to like break it down step by step. Like, okay, I'm here to work out. I'm going to better myself. And that's the purpose of why I'm here. And you have to be able to let yourself get immersed in the culture, because if you're so like against that, it's gonna be very hard to be comfortable and try to work out. And when some people may like scream at you and be like, hey, you can't do that. Like, I don't like you yelling at me. Like, you can just encourage me and say my name. Like, you got this, dude. And be like, cool. But people starting out CrossFit, you have to, I think, one, just kind of be comfortable being very uncomfortable at first. You, again, like the immersion into it. And then for people who are scared to send that first email, I would say you have to look at it as like you want to change who you are. I'm trying to find the right words to this, because the person like who's at the desk trying to send that first email and just be like, hey, I want to do this. I don't know. Scott, it's a good question. I'm a little stumped right now for words.
yeah. I would say like because for example, as a coach, sometimes we get like, there's
Mm-hmm.
no way I can do CrossFit. Or if
Yeah.
someone's interested in it, they talk about, wow, that's really dangerous. Because when you type
Mm-hmm.
in CrossFit on Google, you get
Jillian Michaels.
well, you get that. But you also get Froning and Fraser, and you're like, there's no way I can do that. When
Yeah.
really 99% of CrossFit is come in, get your work in, scale is needed, program for the best, scale for the rest. And it's this community that loves, it's the best part of their day every time. So breaking down that barrier is also something that I love doing as a coach, and letting people realize like there's an athlete in there, even though
Yep.
you don't think there's an athlete in there. There
Yep.
is. I'm going to
Yep.
take it out of you. And we're going to smile, laugh, probably burn up a few times as we do it. But that's okay.
Yep.
Like that's totally fine. Now who was in the space first, you or your girlfriend? I know your parents showed you. Did you show
Mm-hmm.
her?
Yes, I showed her. She was against it first. Um, she played sports throughout high school. She played basketball in college for a year. But to actually get her into the CrossFit movements, which like, dude, she has pretty much impeccable, like clean and jerk form. Like her form on like every movement is like solid.
Yeah.
She does not like overhead, but like, dude, she's blessed with the ability to move a barbell really well. Perfect kettlebell swings, great pull-ups, working on the toes to bar.
Yep.
She's hit a muscle up before. In
Nice.
her first year, she hit a bar muscle up.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I had to get her into it, and now she's like full swing. Ever since she moved in with us, she's been on the programming and she's been doing workouts.
Yeah.
And yesterday we were in a workout, and I was like looking at her, and she hates burpees, Scott. Like hates burpees.
Well,
And
most people do.
she was just like bouncing over the bar like it was nothing, and just going hard. I was like,
Yeah.
let's go, baby. Like she was killing it. So that's been something really cool to see her grow and develop. And like she'll like look at herself in the mirror and she'll be like, I'm developing abs. And I'm like, yep, you're getting more fit. You're getting lean. You're looking
Yeah.
better. You're feeling better. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So,
is cool. And for you, like we talked about, like it's cool. Like you can see it. Like even though she's like, maybe when she first started, she's like, I can't even do a strict pull up. And you're like,
yep.
all right, let's get some dead hang action in. Like, throw a band up there. It's going to work. And they think you're, like, crazy. And you're like, just give it some time. Give it some time. And now you're like, look at what's happening. Like, before you know it, like, you hit a bar muscle up. Like, you can find the pain cave when you want to. Like, it's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to see when they realize it, too. That's big for me. Is, like, I've had members at my gym, like, turn around and look at me and be like, did you see that? Like, that was it right there. And I was like, yeah, you just cycled those burpee box jumps. They're like, that was just an unbroken set of toes to bar. And I don't even think, like, they were aware that they could do it. And all of a sudden they just snapped it out in the middle of a Metcon.
Yeah, the second they start believing, it's, like, the best feeling ever.
Yeah, or then just having the confidence. Like, I was scared. I'm still scared of some barbells. Like, I can get 225 consistently. But, like, when I walk up to it, I'm like, it's still pretty heavy. Like, it's not the lightest thing.
Out in the back of your head, you're just like, shoot, is this going to get up? Am I going to embarrass myself? Because it's like you have a certain standard where you're like, I should hit this. And if I don't, people will be like, what's wrong with Scott? Like,
well, not even that. Just like in yourself, you're like, all of a sudden you miss it. And you're like, when I go up to this again, am I going to miss it again? And if that happens, it just turns the whole thing upside down on its head. For sure. That's awesome, man. Now, it's coming towards the end now. Do you have anything for me? Or anything else you want to say to your following as we throw this out there?
I think going back to that question that was stumped on.
Yep.
Talking about somebody who's waiting to send that email. A precursor to that, I think CrossFit has to do a better job of, like you said, making it not that like you need to look like Rich Froning and Matt Frazier and Tia Toomey, but that like it's community based, right? I think that the stories that they put out are great. I just think that they need more of it, just simply more content. They just need more stuff that's pumping out to the public so they can see it. And I think that'll help eliminate that self-doubt in that email that needs to be sent. I think also too, for gym owners and coaches and trainers, same thing. Just keep pumping out content. Be like, look, here's people that we worked with. They aren't elite athletes. They're your average soccer moms, or they're your office gym like buddies. They're really cool and they work out and then they go do other things. Like, it's not just working out. And I think if people can see that, they're going to be more willing to see that email, and then just like envisioning themselves as like, okay, I'm doing this again to improve my health. I want to be around longer for like my kids and my grandkids and that kind of thing. And then for everyone who follows your stuff and they consume our content, I think that like for us, it like means a lot that like we have a support, we have a community, like, cause like how many, like this is what, your second episode?
Yeah, well, we've done a few of them. I'm still editing a few of them. I'm actually getting 2 of them done today. I'm knocking them out because I'm back in my hometown. But for me, it's just slowly getting things out there and allowing people to see that. So I'm kind of at the early stages. So it's definitely piece by piece, unlike you where you have it out there. You've been doing it for a while.
But yeah, like seriously though, like I think you probably feel similarly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like the fact that people take time out of their very busy lives, as I feel like even with COVID, we are super busy. Time seemed always strained, even with the holiday season. Like people who take the time to consume our content and they respond and they're engaged, like it means the world to me. I'm sure that you love a little bit of support too. And like seriously though, like it's an awesome thing to be able to share these kind of experiences and talk about this stuff and have a platform to where other people can hear this. And I hope it helps them in some shape or form, whether it inspires them to get in the gym, whether they do send or do not send that email, or just even feeling free to reach out. Like, I just hope that we're very transparent and approachable in that space. And I hope it does make an impact for CrossFit and for anyone in that matter who's in the health and fitness realm.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, before we go, where can we find you? What are your ats essentially?
So all of my ats are Joshua Beeker, Beeker, and it's an underscore in between the Joshua and the Beeker.
Yep, that's TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And then on YouTube, it is Beek Squad. So it's just the first 4 letters of my name, BEK, and then Squad.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. Well, guys, that's Josh. Awesome guy, coaching. Look out for his stuff. Look him up on Instagram, TikTok. He's got a lot of stuff on TikTok and Twitter. I know you throw stuff up on Twitter. And I hope he keeps growing. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, man.